Hey
Hello,
there.
how you doing, Margaret?
Good. How are you gentlemen doing this evening?
We're doing just fine, just fine. Hello,
Christopher.
Christopher.
Hey, I didn't know I was in here. I'm sorry.
Oh boy. So, how are you doing today, Bob?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Little disgusted as you are probably, us
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
veterans, but I don't want to make this show political. So
Right. Exactly. But I know we'd like to take just a moment in silence for those 13 members of the military that we lost. So, let's do that right now. All righty. Thank you, sirs. All right. So, we're going to talk about separation anxiety tonight. Is that right?
yes, we are. Yes, we are. And I have one thing. I gotta apologize to your friend. What's her name? Cindy.
Cindy?
Yeah. Um, she wanted me to video that little Westie that I went to that was very reactive. Boy, he come at me like 100 miles an hour when I went there. But it only took two times, two little snaps with nose, and he settled right down. So it
Gotcha.
went very well. So Margaret, uh, tell us about separation anxiety and what possibly can cause it. And I'm gonna let you have it, girl.
All righty. If you have anything to add, Bob, just raise that hand,
Yes, ma'am.
So, how many of us have an issue with separation anxiety? I just had a dog here at my house that had some issues, and we worked through it. And I have one here right now that has a little bit of an issue with it. And sometimes it's how we deal with it. Sometimes it's their history. So what we want to do is what's the definition of separation anxiety? It's when if nobody's home, your dog just has a fit. You like my little, I'm trying out a green screen tonight and it's not wide enough, so I'm going to put it up differently next time.
Yeah, but you know what? Y'all are getting too high tech for me. I'm just an
I,
old redneck. Come on.
hey, I love your wall, man. It's awesome.
Yeah. You
Um,
have my little thing there. See, that's a good thing. See there?
yeah,
All
that's
right, that's
cool.
enough. All right, go ahead, Margaret. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So how many of us have come home to find, molding has been chewed, your door that you left out of, probably your front door, the door to your garage has been scratched up a lot, um, maybe just a hole. I've seen dogs chew a hole in a wall. I mean, chewing by the window, the windowsill, that kind of thing. Um, One, we want to keep our dogs safe. We don't want them to bite into anything that's going to hurt them. So it's just they just have the anxiety and they freak out when you leave and they're like, oh my God, what do I do? And when they get frustrated, they're going to take it out on your walls, your molding, your trim, all kinds of things, maybe your shoes, maybe your clothes. They'll chew up all kinds of things, and chewing is usually how they get frustration out. So what what can cause it? So right now we're having some because we have COVID, and people were home a lot. A lot of dogs were adopted. So you add those together, then when people start going back to work or that kind of thing and not home all day, dog's not used to that. So what do? They're going to take it out on things, your furniture, like I said, your walls, your clothes, your shoes. So what what can we do to prevent this? So I've seen school teachers, the same thing happens. They are home for the summer. They think I'm going to get a puppy, at the beginning of the summer, and the kids and I will help raise this puppy and all of this. They're used to everybody being home all summer, and then all of a sudden, first day of school hits, and nobody is home, and they just mentally lose it, and they don't know what to do. So what can we do to prevent it? Okay. So when you have a puppy and this is not going to be the normal, you want to ease them into being alone, little segments of time. So leave for a short period of time, come back. They need to know that you're going to come back, not that the world is ending. And, what do we do? So you want to make the times 15 minutes, go outside, go take a walk. Come back. Okay. Go outside, start your car. They listen for that car to start. That's a hint that you're leaving. And I'll go over hints that you're leaving too in a little bit. So go start the car, sit in there for a little bit, or take your walk, come back, turn off the car, go back in. We have fobs now, so no one can take off with your car. So also you can go in your car, start it, go drive around the neighborhood, come back in. Short periods leading up to bigger periods of time. Okay. So that's one thing you can do. A lot of people put their dogs in their crate when they leave. I would suggest using the crate also and other times too. Don't let them see the crate as a hint that you're leaving. Oh my God, they're going in the crate. That means you're leaving for like hours on end. They pick up on this repetition and consistency, right? So put them in the crate when you go take a shower. Come back out. They come out of the crate. Go put them in the crate when you eat dinner sometimes, not every time. Don't make a pattern, okay? So there are some hints there on when you leave, elongate the time. You also want to leave them something to keep them busy that they don't get any other time. Like the Kong, you can spread peanut butter inside there. Don't pack it full. Don't pack it full and put it in the freezer. Just don't do that. That's too much. Just a little bit in there, and then give that to them and leave. So, Bob, when you leave, do you make a big deal when you leave, or do you just walk out the door?
I just walk out the door.
Best
I
thing.
just walk out, because if you start praising your dog, okay, mommy, I'll see you pretty soon, and you get them all riled up, all of a sudden, boom, you're gone.
Yeah.
Now they're frustrated. They want to be with you, and they're going to take it out on your mini blinds, curtains, whatever, jumping at that window, because they're going to panic, So I don't make a big deal of it. I just go about my business, grab my car keys, and out the door.
Exactly. That's what I do too. And sometimes if you have a really, really smart dog, you have to grab something different or grab your keys 30 minutes before you leave.
Yeah.
So then they don't see that cue of you leaving. So like Bob said, when you're walking out the door, a lot of people want to, it's okay, sweetie. Mommy will be back. Mommy will be home. And you're getting them all hyped up,
Yeah.
like Bob said.
Yeah.
And then you leave and then they're like, wait a minute, you were just ecstatic and where's the party?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you want to do the same thing when you come home. When I come home, I walk in the door, I put my stuff down, and I go straight to the sliding glass door and I let the dogs up. I don't, hi, how was your day? And then they're sitting there waiting for that moment to happen all day,
Yeah.
So keep it low key. I had a client in North Carolina once that was the only thing they had to do. The only change they needed to do was just not get their dog revved up when they left.
Keep everything low key.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a lot of times as women, the last thing we pick up is our purse, right? Because our keys are usually by our purse or in our purse. So we pick that up and then they're like, oh no, I know what that means,
Right.
So what we want to do sometimes is maybe go pick up your purse, go out to your car, put it in your car, lock your car, come back in, take the last few sips of coffee, or something, and then leave. Mix it up, make it different every time. So then they can't pick up on that pattern. So,
the other thing I would like to add, if you don't mind, me, me, it's all about, I mean, even if your dog can sit, if he can stay just for a little bit, or if you have a trainer and your dog is being trained, whether it be for me, Margaret, one of my trainers, whoever it is. What I like doing is utilizing that obedience. And I start by putting a dog at a stay. And if he's ready for it, put him at a stay in your living room and then go into your kitchen. Not for a long period of time. And then come back out. Let him know you're coming back. He doesn't have to follow you all over the house. Then put him at a stay, go to your bedroom. Start things real simple first. Now, you're going to leave the house. You can tell him to stay, whatever. And if your dog generally is house broke and everything else, let him loose in one room, but section that room off and leave. Then about a minute later, come back in. I wouldn't even go as far as, right from the get-go, being gone a long period of time. Remember, little short victories is what builds confidence. That dog's going to realize you are going to come back. And when you come back, he's going to go outside and dear old mom's there, And I find a lot of problems, and I'm going to let Margaret get into this too, with puppies. You want to tell them about that as far as the crate stuff with the screaming Mimi puppies, Margaret?
Oh, yes. Well, we went over a little bit on the crate, like don't let them feel that that's the sign that you're leaving for hours on end, mix up the time when you use the crate. But if you put your puppy in the crate and then he starts whining, don't let that be a signal for you to go then let them out of the crate, because then that's going to compound the problem. That's going to make it even worse. That's going to make them scream louder because they know it works and you come and let them out. So what you need to do is I go over and I'll just go, no, and then I'll walk away. You can this is a very well-known correction technique called the shaker can.
Doggy grenade.
Sorry?
Doggy grenade.
Doggy grenade, yeah.
Yeah.
So you could take like a Coke can, rinse it out, let it dry after you've finished your soda, drink, what have you. Put 15 pennies in there and then tape the top of it shut. Do not take duct tape and tape the whole thing.
Defeating the purpose, aren't they?
Yeah, that just deadens the sound. You want to put tape just over the top opening so the pennies don't fly out. You want that metal to be exposed so that they hear that loud sound. It's just a shake, nope. And you can make a few of them, strategically put them in your house because they don't like that sound. If you have little babies though, human babies, you might not want to use that. You can use a water squirt gun. Squirt the water in the crate. If you have the plastic crate towards the front, if you have the metal crate, wire crate, you can squirt it from any angle. And that's a good correction. Your voice itself, no, is a good correction. But don't let that whining be a sign for you to go let them out to keep them from whining, because it's just going to make it worse.
Right. I call it crying baby syndrome.
Yeah.
Anybody that's married and got a little baby, or relatives that got kids, that baby's in a room, he starts crying. So of course, if you got a newborn, you're going to go check on the baby, and that's what you should do. But after a while, there's times you go in that room, baby's screaming. Why is he screaming? Because he wants mama. Mm-hmm. So he knows mama's going to come. And when you walk in that room, there ain't a tear in that kid's eye. He's just screaming away because he knows mama's coming. Well, you know it as well as I do, Margaret. Mom's got to suck it up and let that baby. It ain't gonna work no more.
Yeah.
And it's the
Yep.
same thing with a puppy. So that's that. I would, like Margaret said, ignore it. You can discipline it if you'd like. If that works, that's fine. I usually tell, like, again, what's good about me and Margaret, we use both sides of the spectrum here.
Yeah.
I usually tell people, suck it up, Buttercup. You're the one that wanted the puppy, especially a new puppy. And what people don't realize, that puppy isn't with its litter mates anymore.
Right.
It isn't with its mama anymore. It's in a new environment, all new sounds. So by putting it, and I've seen people do this, they take the crate and they put it down in the basement, or they put it upstairs, or they put the dog in the living room and no one's there and they go downstairs. Get that dog acclimated to that crate, like Margaret said. Leave the door open, let him get in there, let him think that kennel is a bed. And you're gonna see, again, it's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take time. But separation is something that I'm running into a lot of clients with the separation anxiety. And just like Margaret said, they've been home for a year and all of a sudden they're getting called back to work and the dog freaks out. Where is everybody?
Right.
So to play it safe, buy yourself a kennel. Remember, it's just temporary. It's not something you're going to have to do forever.
Right. And to get them more used to it, I've done things like, okay, when you feed your dog, put the bowl of food in the crate with the door open. And that way they're going in and out and they see it as a safe place. Once in a while, take up all the toys, the dog toys, instead of putting them in the, dog basket or the toy basket or the toy, container, put them all in the crates. And then they have to go in and out of the crate to go get them. So you can do these different things so that they see the crate as a really positive thing. So those are good points, Bob. I appreciate that. And I know we're going to reach a number of people tonight because separation anxiety is just, it's a tough thing to tackle. And it is. It's tough to, say, okay, I'm going to be strong about this and, teach my dog that it's okay that I'm not home. And the one households that are really tough too are like multi-generational houses where we have, 3 generations living in one house. There's usually somebody almost always
all the time.
So then when everybody leaves, it's kind of a shock. So, do testing, do short times, go out, drive around the neighborhood, come back, just do that off and on setup. It's just like setting them up not to chew the remote. We're going to set them up not to be upset that we're gone. And usually, what do you think about like the first 20, 30 minutes you're gone is usually the most intense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, especially if you, kind of make it like a party when you leave. So just don't make a big deal when you leave. Don't make a big deal when you come home. It's just a normal everyday thing. And they will look at it as a normal everyday thing. Okay, so what else do you want to hit on with that, Bob?
All the dog wants to know is that you're going to come back.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, Margaret, it's just not puppies. It's just not, dogs that they've had a few years, they're used to the owners coming and going. We really don't have a big problem, but a lot of these people, they got rescues. Dog 1, 2 years old, whatever. And, that's my little one's barking. Sorry. But, and I'm going to ignore them.
Yep.
But anyway, they just got to know you're coming back. When you rescue a dog, this dog has been in one family. Then he went to someone, a foster, or you got him out of the APL or whatever. And they're in a new environment.
Mhm.
That's almost as bad as having a little puppy,
Oh yeah.
you know? So, people, all I got to say is on this, you have to be patient. You really do. I'm not saying it's going to cure itself, but if you do what Margaret and I said, it'll happen. But, again, every dog is different. Some dogs may take a little bit longer than other dogs.
Right.
You
And if,
know,
and if you go from, if you're gone from the house, like you have your work day of 8 hours and then your commute, who knows how long you're commuting for. So if you're gone for like 10 hours, invest in a dog walker to come walk your dog like in the middle of the day, like at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, to break up the day too, and tell them to follow the same rules you do.
the other thing, like, same note as a dog walker. If your dog's friendly with other dogs and he likes playing, bring him to a puppy daycare or a doggy daycare.
Exactly. That's another thing. And it gets out their energy, and built up energy leads to frustration. So we
Right.
don't want to build up that energy. We want to get it out. You can get out the energy by doing obedience, just twice a day, working your dog. Obedience works their mind, gets them
Right.
tired. And, maybe once or twice a week, investing in doggy daycare, and that way your dog meets new friends also.
I think that's a great idea,
Yeah, good
because,
idea.
I know people that, they try, their dogs are so full of energy. Your border collies, your labs, golden retrievers, and it's just bring them to a daycare,
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's an awesome idea also, especially if you have, a dog that's got hunting lines or working lines, that are bred to have that energy, give them an outlet, and that'll help. Another thing that I've done,
Especially your terriers
yes, really.
or
I wonder
boxers.
who has terriers out there.
Terriers. Yeah, I call them little terrors. And your boxers, even your bigger breeds, your
Mhm.
boxers, your Dobermans, some of your larger German short hairs,
Mhm.
English pointers, setters. They got to get that energy out.
Oh, here's one. Belgian Malinois.
Don't be talking bad about my Malinois now.
I'm not talking bad, but I mean, the people think they're cool looking dogs and they just don't even have a fenced backyard and they go get one.
Man, you got to be the right person to get an alligator.
Yeah, you do. You do. One
Yeah.
thing I've used lately with a dog I wasn't sure of is I used those Ring doorbells or any camera
Oh yeah.
that you can get the video and audio from. Sit it in front of that kennel and see how long your dog is upset for. See exactly what they're doing. Set it in the house so you can see what they're doing and what gets them, going. Is it when you leave? Are they hyper when you leave? Or what's going on? Find out what the issue is first. Then maybe we can figure out, you can figure out what to do to help that,
The other thing, a lot of people, well, I left the radio on. Well, don't put on some hip hop, dang,
Yeah.
rock and roll, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
No, believe
Soothing.
me, put it on like orchestra music or
Mhm.
something. And believe it, folks, it has a calming effect on the dog.
Mhm.
Don't just put the TV on. Put something soothing to
Yep.
calm that dog down. And it will. It works.
Yeah, there's that
Well,
relaxing mood, music that people will use, even calming sounds,
Yeah.
like I don't know if you want running water because,
Yeah. Don't
especially if
put
you're
on
working on
thunderstorm. Don't put on no
housebreaking.
rain and storms. Especially if your dog's afraid of it.
Ocean sounds and all that, and the dogs peed in the house.
Yeah.
But there's, the classical music, like Bob said, easy, easy listening. It's not 70s anymore. It's easy listening. Are we like easy listening 90s now?
Actually, you can get on easy, smooth jazz,
Yep.
orchestra, symphony. Yeah, elevator music's the best way to say it.
That's true.
Elevator music. Folks, play elevator music for your dog.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
I knew I'd come up with something.
Yep. So you mentioned mini blinds, and one thing I know, cats are horrendous on mini blinds, man. They are just, especially, the cheap ones, you get the cheap ones. So in order to save, your blinds, put them up a little bit. So they're not there for the dog to just, try to get them out of the way so they can see through the window. Put them up some so you can save your blinds.
Yeah, there's a lady that lives next door to me. She's got a Beardy. Okay. This Beardy is her kid. It's just her and her dog. And she loves this dog to death. And she's got a bay window. And she goes to work. And that bearded collie will jump up and lays on the ledge at that window and waits for mama all day. You can see him sleeping in the window.
Yeah.
She leaves the window open for him so he can watch whatever he wants to watch.
That's nice.
What I call the pet big screen TV, and that dog, she doesn't have any problems with him at all.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, what I want to, what else you got on that, Margaret?
The only other thing is, some people think it's good to take their dog with them everywhere. And that's another thing that can lead to separation anxiety, not just not being alone at home, but not being alone at all. So
right.
You don't have to take your dog with you everywhere. I mean, leave them home sometimes so that they get used to it, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Thank you for my 21st birthday there. I appreciate it. I'm 21 again.
Is it your birthday, Margaret?
No, my birthday's in March, actually.
Well, Christopher, what are you doing to me? I thought I missed something.
What's funny is if we haven't said this yet, but Christopher and I are first cousins. So, he should know when my birthday is. Of course, I don't know when his birthday is. So maybe that's a cousin thing.
Bob told me it was today. So
I
just did what Bob said. I'm sorry.
That's all right, man. I forgive you. I forgive you.
All right. What do you say we do a show? There's two things we can touch base on. All right. And I'm going to let you choose it, Margaret.
All right.
Bringing a new dog into your home, whether it's a rescue, whether it's from the APL, or a new puppy, or would you like to go over proper leash handling?
I think right now what would be good is how about bringing a new puppy? You do that first.
Puppy or dog?
Seriously, when you bring in a new dog to your household, whether it be a house that you already have dogs or a house where this is your first dog, no other animals are in the house, what do you do? So do you want to do that next show, is what you're saying?
If you'd like to.
Yeah, I think that'd be
that'd be
great.
A good one. I think that'd be a real good one. Because, what we're touching on things, a lot of these guys on YouTube, they reactive dogs in this, and they're working a dog and they're putting a Herm Springer on it. And it's always about training. Get your dog to walk next to you. Don't do this. Don't do that. And I think basically if we touch base on some things that they're really not touching base on, and then we'll get into our way of training.
Okay.
Yeah. We can get a little bit deeper into behavioral issues, things like this. I will be I'm working myself this week with my company all my trainers are off on vacation. I closed one solid week. So it's going to be kind of hard for me to be doing any videos and things like that. But I'm going to try to get some leash handling videos in.
Okay,
Some
that
of the
was my next thing. Yeah.
And I mean, from the time I walk into a person's house, which should be done in a lesson, and if there's any trainers out there at all right now, or ones that are maybe want to check us out and see what we're all about. Again, guys, I've been doing this 43 years professionally. Listen to your clients. Listen to them.
Exactly.
Because you want to do this, but their big problem is this. I'll ask people maybe after their second lesson, what's your big issue right now? Or after their fifth lesson, if they got 6, let's tackle your problem area. What's the biggest thing you're having a problem with?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to fix that problem. Because if we just do what we want to do all the time in lessons, we're not doing a service to our customers.
Exactly.
All right, big deal. Your dog can heel, sit down, stay, and come. Well, to me, that's stupid pet tricks. Sorry to say it, folks. That's all it is. Oh, sit pretty, here's a cookie. And oh, look at, he can roll over. Well, look at, my dog can walk next to me and sit. Same thing. And I'm not knocking obedience because
No, it's a little bit better.
It opens up a huge line of communication.
Yeah.
What pleases you and what displeases you, but listen to your customers. We got to fix their problem. We got to show them what needs to be done. And if you guys are going into a house and you're working a customer's dog and you're only worried about or videoing how good the dog is doing for you, we don't want to see that. I don't want to see it.
All right.
I would rather see someone instructing someone, which we will do.
Exactly.
All right. But let's get this stuff done, out of the way. Let's hit some of the sit stays at the door, general obedience in the house. Let's conquer chewing, digging, jumping, whatever. Then we'll get into it. And what's nice about Margaret and I, each episode we're doing is something a little bit different. And you always, guys, if you guys got any questions at all, if Christopher, can you put up the Rockin' Dogs Gmail for me?
It's been streaming down at the bottom.
Okay, I don't have my glasses on.
Yeah, it has you guys' website or each of your websites, and then the Rockin' Dogs 11 gmail.com.
Okay. And if you have me for a trainer, or my company, or Margaret's company, or her, feel free to give us a call. We'll talk to you one-on-one, but we will answer any questions that you guys might have. Just write to our Gmail. I believe it's Rockin' Dogs with a G11 at gmail.com.
Yep, it is. And just so everybody knows, my website is under construction. I am starting my own, business. So just letting that little secret out there. And I'd like to shout out to Cindy in Texas. I see your hello there. And Cheryl says German shredders.
German shredders.
German shredders.
Who said that, Cheryl?
Jessica is saying Rico did well with his last training session for reactive dogs. Thank you again.
You know what? Rico, let me tell you about Rico, man. This little pit bull, I mean, he ain't no bigger than a popcorn fart. I mean, he's only about 45 pounds.
Yeah.
I walked into his house and I tried, when I get a reactive dog, I walk into him. I walked into him. I thought Rico was going to chew my chin off. He leaped right for me. And we just did a little reactive dog thing. We didn't do a whole bunch of lessons, but if you go to my family dog training Facebook page, click on the guy with the cowboy hat, and you'll
Suave.
see Rico on there. He's a little black pitty, and the owner's walking him down. His dog walks right next to her. See
Awesome.
it? By the third lesson, dog was heeling up and down sidewalk. I
Nice.
brought another dog for the first time his last lesson. And this dog, she said, was very reactive to other dogs, lunging at dogs. I brought my coonhound cross, Hank Williams, and we had him within 3 foot. And Rico just sat there. And after a while, he wasn't even paying attention to Hank Williams. She was
Nice.
able to tell him to down, stay. We had no problem. So, Rico's owner, you guys did a fantastic job. You did everything I told you, everything that I instructed you, and I commend you for that. But I told you it would work. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I'm doing your mom's pit bull next, aren't I? I think I'm going over there Saturday. So
Oh,
that's
very
going to be
cool.
fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Let us know how that goes. Maybe you can get a video of Rico and bring the video in the next show next week.
Okay. Yeah. Rico did fantastic. I mean, she showed me before her fourth lesson, he was walking right at her side, stopping, automatically sitting, doing a fantastic job.
Oh, Jessica says, yeah, Roxy is next. LOL. Good luck. She's stubborn.
Yeah. Well, if you
Bob is
remember,
more stubborn.
in
know.
the evaluation, I met all 3 pitties that I'm going to be training. Well, Hope, my other trainer, is training the other dog, but I was petting the dog that she's talking about, and then I went to move him a little bit, and he gave me that. It's like,
Ooh.
oh, heck no, you're not going to do that to me.
No.
And I was sitting down, Margaret.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but he didn't do it again, so I'm going to have fun with that one.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, her mom right now is bowling with my wife. It's their first night of bowling on a league again. So
nice.
that's going to be fun.
All
But
right.
I think that about sums it up.
Yes.
I hope you all enjoyed the show. Remember, I'm going to do it before Margaret mentions it. Like, share, and subscribe. I beat you, Margaret.
You
beat
did.
you.
You beat me to it. Yep. We're getting good at this.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we
Yep.
are.
Remember, we're here for you. So any questions you have, send our way to rockindogs with a Z 11@gmail.com, and we will put it on the show.
Exactly. Oh, and I want to give a hats off to my little husky puppy I graduated, Haku. Haku and her mom and dad. It's a picture of Haku is on my Facebook page. What a dynamite husky. I started him when he just looked like a little fluff ball. And 12 lessons later, man, we were dropping a 30-foot log line. Haku was doing, fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Fantastic.
Very, very
So,
nice.
hats off to you, Haku.
All right.
All right.
Nice. Well, that sums it up for tonight. So I guess we will see each other next week.
And I want to say one more thing.
Okay.
And I mean this with all my heart. My deepest sympathies to all the families that lost their sons and daughters in the attack we just had. It's very sad. And, I'm a veteran. Margaret's a veteran. And that hits home to us pretty hard. So hats off to you guys. I love everybody. Love all my customers. I even love you, Margaret.
Love you too, man. You're like a brother.
All right, man. You guys have a good evening. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Do it for me. Do it for Margaret. We're here to help you. Peace out, people.